Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this July 9th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. And this morning we have, here in a bit, we'll have our guest, Union County Commissioner Matt Scarfo will be with us. So, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Are you dealing with the heat?
I'm fine with it. I got AC.
You'd much prefer that than
I
the
like
cold.
it warm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't want to like sweat.
Yeah.
But I like it warmer. Yeah. Makes everything more accessible.
Yeah.
And you don't have to scrape off your car and all that crap.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. It's second Monday.
Yeah. But yesterday it was warm. It's supposed to be,
Warmer
it's warm
today.
It's warm everywhere. Yeah.
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 I was reading that 3 people died in Portland from heat related.
From heat stuff. Yeah.
And they're closing down all the food trucks. I'll bet you in them food trucks it's hot. Oof.
They're closing like.
Yeah, they're just shut. People are shutting down their food trucks because it's too hot inside.
Too hot to stay.
Yeah, if you don't have AC in those, they get just burnt. It's like
no, I can only imagine.
In there, but 10 times as bad.
Yeah.
You got oil, flat top. You're just standing over it, cooking at like 130 degrees, and that's too hot, right? Way too hot.
Well, and I would imagine that there aren't that many people that are. It's so hot outside that they don't have the customers coming.
Yeah, nobody's going out to
right.
Which
at the end of the day, that's what guides business is like. Okay, if I'm miserable serving food to only a few people, then we're not even making money.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah.
Chef Russ told me yesterday that it was 115 in Vegas. That's so hot, 115. Oof.
Yeah.
I remember when I was going to college down in Southern California, I lived in between Victorville and Barstow.
Yeah.
In this place called Hellendale. And it was that's the Mojave Desert. And I remember it being like hot enough that when you walked outside onto the blacktop, your feet stick because the blacktop is literally melting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, but it's a dry heat, so it's not absolutely miserable. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of moisture in the air, so you're not like just pouring sweat all the time, like down in the South. Alabama. When I went to Alabama, I think I've told you, I was having to change my shirt like 5 times a day because you just move and you're sweating.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it gets kind of miserable this time of the year like this. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think Gabe's about. Let's do sports. And you're back in there.
Rock and roll. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit right here in LeGrand. Do you like disc golf? Hobby Habit has a great selection of new discs from Dynamic Discs and Discraft. If you're looking to save a little money, they have marked down a huge selection of their old discs. Upgrade your collection today. Find that perfect driver that you've been looking for. Hobby Habit, 411 First Street in LeGrand, just for the fun of it. Oregon East-West Shrine 2024 is less than 3 weeks away. We're getting down to the wire, but we're still accepting advertisements for the game broadcast. Email office@eoalive.tv or message us on here for more info.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go.
Now on to the big story of the day. The Union County Majors 12U softball team is 1 win away from a state championship. Last night they beat South Beaverton 6-3 to move on to the championship game today in Turner versus Bend North, and that game will be at 6 p.m. tonight. And I was talking to my to my guy Gibb, whose daughter's on the team. And that game was originally scheduled for 1 today, and they moved it to 6, which really doesn't make a lot of sense for the teams that are traveling because you have to check out of hotels at 11. And they're going to have to find something to do in the heat of the day, a burner heat of the day, from 11 until when they have to be down there for the game. These young ladies are on a heck of a run. If you want to watch them live at 6 o'clock today, use the Game Changer app and just search UC12U All-Stars. It's that easy. UC12U All-Stars. Pictures were courtesy of the Union County Little League Facebook page. My guy Gibb sent me a bunch of videos of the game, and I just slapped together a little reel for you guys to check out. Here it is.
Gabe.
Like I said, that team is 1 win away from a state championship, and they just have to beat Bend North today at 6 o'clock. So just be cheering for them or go watch them on the Game Changer app. It's pretty exciting. I like to see Union County teams do well. It's really cool. Legion update. LeGrand Legacy have games today at Optimist against Baker at 5. Or tomorrow, Wednesday, at 5 against Baker and then at 9 against Pendleton. 9 o'clock game start. That's crazy. I played Legion for 3 years, and I don't ever remember starting a game at 9. I remember starting a game around 8, but never 9. That's getting done at 11 o'clock. It is summer. Then they play in the regional tournament in Redmond, trying to qualify for state this weekend. This will be a single elimination tournament, and that'll give them an auto bid to the state tournament July 23rd through the 28th in Redmond as well. Then they close out their home season on Monday with a double dip versus Fruitland at 3 and 5 right down here at Optimus. Cade's Courage, if you have the means, there's a QR code on the screen. Scan it with your phone. It'll take you to the GoFundMe page for the McKinley family. Help them out. Cade is going to be a sophomore. He's a 3-sport athlete at LeGrand. He's battling a form of Ewing sarcoma cancer, and the family needs some help. If you don't like, the GoFundMe or don't want to use GoFundMe, U.S. Bank in LeGrand has an account open in the family's name, McKinley's, or under Cade's Courage. If you have any ability to help out, please do so. And then the bracelets that are on the screen right now, I still have a few of them left at the studio. They're free, and they just say Cade's Courage, you got this on them, and it's just to support what's going on with the McKinley family. They've done a lot for this community, and if you have the opportunity to give back, please do. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit here in LeGrand, just for the fun of it.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exciting for those girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, well, and it kind of, and as they get older, man, they're going to carry that experience and expertise.
We don't really have a lot of trouble with softball.
Yeah.
I think our feeder programs for softball are pretty solid. If they win that game today, though, that means they get to go to San Bernardino, which is that's a sweet complex. It's where regionals for our region are held. Because you play in your district tournament, then you play state, then you play regionals, and then if you win regionals, you go to the World Series.
Yeah.
Which is a long haul. That's a lot of tournaments. You got to win a lot.
Right.
And really, even at that age, it takes pitching. Realistically, you have to have at least 2 good pitchers. For softball, you have 2. I mean, because girls can throw a lot more pitches than boys, just because the arm motion is a natural body movement. Throwing over the top is not. So there's more stress on your arm. So girls can throw more. It recovers faster. So two good pitchers at that level is a team that will compete even at the regional level, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's exciting.
All right. Well, let's look outside. Look at the weather. It's hot.
Clear.
It's beautiful right now.
So clear, too.
So, yeah, let's look at the forecast and see what that's
I
gonna
don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Man. Ooh.
101 today.
Eek.
Yeah, 59 tonight.
That's no bueno.
Yeah, so all of the next 6 days,
just
it's
burning.
in the mid-90s, upper 90s. Yep. So it's just kind of, we're just kind of stuck here for
no
a
chance
bit.
of rain either. I like that part of it too. 0% chance of rain.
Yeah, well, and it gets like super miserable when it's this hot and then it rains. Yeah, you hope that the temperature goes down when it rains.
We haven't had a show since Buffalo Peak, since 4th of July. That was fun.
Yeah, well, and in fact, we've got Gabe put together a little highlight for us. Let's take a look at that. All right, good stuff. Thanks, Gabe, for doing that. That was in a square format because it went on our social media. But all right.
Yeah, Bud just commented. Yeah, Oregon Lightning 18U swept 5 games, beating all by the 10-run rule this weekend. Yeah, I saw that. It slipped my mind. That's the big girls. They play. It's a travel team. It's not. They were just playing in a tournament over the weekend. They won all 5 games.
Cool.
Yeah, they're good too.
All right.
They're real good.
All right. Well, let me tell you once again about 911. The LeGrand Police Department is looking for a 911 dispatch supervisor, and along with several requirements. One of those requirements is that you have 5 years of dispatching experience, which kind of narrows the pool. It means that people internally are applying, but then also people maybe in the area who have dispatch experience, that might be something that they might be interested in. LeGrand Police Department is a great family atmosphere to be working in, and if you or someone you know is interested in pursuing an application, go to lgpdjobs.com. lgpdjobs.com. All right.
Speaking of 911 supervisor, the job, I was talking to this young lady out at 4th of July, and she's a dispatcher, and Chief Bell told her that the next time he comes on, he's bringing her with him.
Good.
So they'll have somebody that actually does dispatch to kind of talk about the job and what they do, and
and that's those we've talked about that before, but they're kind of unsung heroes. I mean, you talk about a stressful, adrenaline-filled job.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. That that can
It
be.
takes a special person to do that.
It really does.
Well, I mean, any of those kind of jobs, cops, firefighters,
Right.
EMTs, anybody that's out there like that just takes a special type of person. You have to be able to compartmentalize.
Well, and I think it would be, at least in a small community like what we have, people know each other, so then
Makes it even harder.
a dispatch person can have an incident, and they can follow up with an officer or find out. I can't imagine doing that in a big metropolitan area where you are, you're dispatching 911 for 20 agencies.
I think it would be better.
Yeah.
Myself, like the disassociation would probably be good for like some people.
Well, a lot of the stress statistically that comes from big dispatch centers is those dispatch people not knowing how the story ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyhow.
Maybe it's better they don't though. I think I've told this story before. I have a friend who's a 911 dispatcher in Salem. They cover Dallas and everything.
Yeah.
And I was at the tap house one day, and there's this naked lady running down the middle of the street. And she comes over to our window, and she's just buck naked, banging on the window. Middle of the day, people eating lunch in there. So I called 911. I'm like, yeah, we got this lady banging. And Kyle, is that you? I got her on the phone, and I was like, yeah, there's a naked. And she's like, we've already got the calls. Like, we're working on it. But I just happened to get the person
that you knew, yeah.
But I also called 911 in Dallas one time. My son had febrile seizures, and he was having a seizure, and we didn't know. This was the first one ever, and we didn't know what to do. So I called 911, and they didn't even answer.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And my oldest daughter was having this issue with shoes, right?
Uh-huh.
I think she's like 4 at the time. I think Karen's 2. And she will not leave the house without shoes on. So I'm grabbing her. My ex-wife has got Kyron, and at 2, he was a load. He was a big boy. She's carrying him. She's pregnant with our youngest. And I got Presley. She's screaming bloody murder about her shoes. And I'm trying to keep it all calm while speeding to the hospital. It was a mess, dude.
Yeah.
The joys of parenting.
The joys of parenting. That's right.
Yeah, but we got it figured out, and he never had another seizure. We knew what to do. Like once his temperature, because he got really high fevers.
Yeah.
So once we knew that he was getting a fever was coming on, we just took the old peas and corn frozen and put it in the armpits and in the
that brought the
groins
temperature
and just
down?
kind of chilled him out or put him in a lukewarm bath, and he never had another seizure, thankfully.
Yeah, good. All right, so we will be right back with Union County Commissioner Matt Scarfo.
You need me to say something?
Yeah, I think you're good. All right, we're back. Matt Scarfo, Union County Commissioner.
Good morning.
On his 6th year? 7th year? How many is this now?
This is my 6th year, yeah.
6th year.
Yeah, I'll
6
two
years.
more after this.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we get too involved in what you guys talk about, you see EOU baseball coach has gone
I
already?
know. He told me, and now he's
Hey, he got a better job. I hate to say it, but
no. It happens,
about
but
progression.
he had. I even told him, I said his momentum was. It started going. I saw it.
I had a conversation with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he left the program in a good spot. I think.
Yeah.
Now we just got to find another one.
Find another one.
I liked him. I thought he was good, man.
Yeah, it was Coach Mack when he came in, starting a brand new program, and then COVID hits. Man, you're not gonna. That's a tough road. And then when Tread came in, still had the difficulties. New program, getting off, but he was really. It was. I see good things going to happen though.
I do. I agree.
Yeah. And then when you're talking about the gals, the games today.
At 6.
At 6, and they have to check out of their hotel rooms.
At 11.
You can't go swimming.
No.
You can't go because when I played Little League down in Arizona, number one rule: if you had a game that night, there was no
you ain't
swimming.
swimming. No.
Because
yeah,
you'll be taking a
Yeah,
nap.
it drains you. That's
Yeah.
what we used to do when we'd leave here with the kids to go back home to the west side. We'd leave usually Sunday, 11 or so, hit Pendleton, drain the kids, and then they would sleep the whole way home. Man. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So what are they going to do for
I don't know.
7 hours?
Eat. Go to a restaurant and use the AC.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Find a mall, walk around.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And then the 9 o'clock baseball game.
Yeah, at night.
Well, I mean, I get it. You want to have a night game, and it doesn't get dark until 10.
That's true.
And so
Yeah, only
but
half of it's going to be like completely
still,
dark.
I'll be asleep at
Grandma and Grandpa are going to be like not going to that game
exactly.
Why would they have a 9 o'clock at night game?
because they're
They had
they're
another
jamming
game before?
games in.
Yeah.
They're trying to get as many games.
It's like,
in.
was this Moonlight?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, Moonlight. Is there a Moonlight this year? Somebody was telling me there is, but
I hope
I've
so.
seen nothing about it.
Softball
Somebody
used to
said
be
it
like,
happened a couple of weekends ago or last weekend. I'm trying to remember.
no, it's usually late August.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must have been.
Yeah,
I hope
think
it.
it's
I hope
happened
it.
with
It's funny. Like softball, 30 years ago was like pickleball now, and then it just does the.
30 years ago. It was wow.
Oh boy, if you weren't playing softball, you were. Yeah.
What do you, I was 15. I went to Moonlight around then.
Man, it was Moonlight was fun.
Yeah.
When there was men's and co-ed. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope they still have
I mean,
it.
it's just a big old party. It's not even really like back then. you
Yeah.
know.
We got, I was on Pendleton Merchants, and we had a really good team, and we got beat. We got paired up with one of the other best teams that we were battling all summer with, and we lost, and we got nicked in, put in the losers bracket.
That means like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, you're playing like 11, 1, 3, 5, like all night long, nonstop. And, you know, when we used to say, it's like, let's just keep hitting until the sun comes up. We did that in one inning. And it was like the second inning, and it was dark when we started the inning. And when we finished, they got the third out. Finally got the third out on us. We were up 27-2.
Jeez.
And the game had already been like an hour and a half. The sun was up. And we actually hit until the sun came up.
Wow.
And they called the game right there. It's like second inning or something. But
After 2 innings.
but back then, I don't know, it was like 21, 22. I didn't need sleep. I didn't need.
No.
I could just. Snickers bar and a Gatorade. And
Yeah, they
I
didn't
was
have
good for-
energy drinks back then.
A Gatorade.
Yeah.
But-
But they didn't have
Oh,
like,
no.
bangs and
No,
stuff that'll keep you
no,
up.
no.
No,
That
you
stuff's.
had to try to figure it out.
That stuff's not, in my opinion, not good for you.
No.
I don't want to bag on energy drinks, but
Yes. Yeah. So what do you use to give yourself energy now? Coffee?
no, I'd quit caffeine.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm 3 years now.
Wow.
Oxygen.
Oxygen?
I don't. My pick-me-ups are as much sleep as I can get,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't have anything that picks me up.
Good.
Yeah, the caffeine was interfering with like my blood pressure medication and some other stuff.
Yeah.
So I just quit it cold turkey.
Wow. Was that hard to give up?
Yeah, it was a little difficult. I don't know, my body. I would always have some in the morning to help
Right.
my plumbing go, if you
Yeah.
would. And then don't put that clip as that little.
I'm going That is going to be the Scarfo reel of the day.
Oh shoot! I keep forgetting we're live. And then, like after I eat, I'd get sluggish.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit.
Right.
Little bit then. So I'm missing that afternoon little pick me up.
Yeah.
To get me going for the rest of the day. So now what I do is I try not to eat lunch, depending on my meetings throughout my day. So I try not to eat lunch until my meetings are all over.
Yeah.
And which sometimes could be 4 and then 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But if I have a night meeting, then I switch to gum.
Yeah.
So if you see me at a city hall meeting or a renewal or something like that, I throw a piece of gum in my mouth.
So is that the sugar from the gum that you go?
I go sugarless gum, but I just need something to kind of get the juices flowing and yeah. So that's my trick.
So you were last night we recorded where we broadcast the City of LeGrand Urban Renewal call for projects.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, and people don't know the call for projects is when different people in the community apply for those funds that are available to grow businesses, help businesses in the LeGrand area.
Correct.
And there was how much available? 350,000?
350,000.
Yeah. So, and you sat on that committee as a commissioner, is that right? Or did they
No, I'm a position. Yes, I'm just a member.
They just that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on and off that board and been a part of it for almost conception.
Yeah. Now, had you guys seen? I mean, you were given the folder ahead of time, but that was the first meeting that you guys had met as a committee.
We kind of meet as needed.
Yeah.
And there's the agency.
Right.
And we have agency meetings after city council meetings once in a while.
Right.
And once in a while, the actual committee needs to be there to vote on certain aspects of things. But for the most part, it's that is the meeting.
That right. And there were some great projects. I don't maybe help people if you can understand where urban renewal funds come from.
Manager Strope would be better at explaining this, but it is actually taxpayer dollars. They created this program where taxpayer dollars goes into this pool that actually will help growth and vitalization of our urban district or LeGrand urban district section.
Right.
Downtown.
Right.
So in reality, taxpayer dollars are going into, I always like to use the Oddfellows building, the old Tropidera.
Right.
And the property tax dollars that were coming were literally zero.
Right.
The building was worthless. The ground was worthless. I mean, it was zero. So urban renewal dollars said, hey, we could help, would someone like to come in and do something with this building? We have up to $75,000 on certain instances like the grocery store here, certain asks, it could go even higher. So the Penningtons came in, said, hey, boy, this $75,000 plus what we have, we could revitalize this building, make it useful in our community. And it went from $0 of property tax income for our city to, I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
I guess we could look it up, but it's not zero anymore.
Right.
So it's kind of like a low interest loan in a way.
So the investment that goes into that building then eventually comes back because
Property
the
tax,
value of that building has gone up, and so that property tax is going back into the pool.
And that's in my opinion, I'm a business guy and return on investment and all that, but in my opinion, and when I make decisions on some of these projects, I look at that. Plus, it took an eyesore, a burnout building, nothing happening,
Right.
walking down the street. It's like, oh, it's an eyesore. It helps our downtown look like we're thriving and doing good things.
Right.
And right now, boy, we're having the projects last night, as you saw, there's some really great projects.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to see people in our community moving and shaking and actually investing into, downtown LeGrand and trying to make it thrive.
Yeah.
Some really great projects.
Well, and I mention this all the time that there's some significant people that are doing that sometimes without even some of those funds coming back. I mean, Al Adelsberger has invested a tremendous amount personally. The Williamsons, who have Evervine labels,
Oh yes.
Chaches's.
Yep.
I mean, and there's more people than that. Penningtons, they're the people that invest their personal resources and own stuff like that.
Oh yes.
I mean, it makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like one of the categories is how much individual personal funds are going into each project.
Right.
And that's a big slab.
Yeah.
But it's that little bit that, hey, will $75,000 help? Yeah, like on the All-Phase project on Adams, on a $2.2 million,
Yeah.
75 grand, yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope that's bathrooms. That's
That's right.
yeah.
That's
And
right.
Nate Conklin's got a fantastic project he's going to try to work on over there at the old EOA building.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. I'm excited for that one.
No, that sounds that. Yeah. No, that and that. I mean, that's a cool project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he wants to do some kind of a cart,
Yeah, food cart.
a food cart internally, right?
Yeah.
A space internally there.
Yeah. I always looked at that building and thought it'd be a fantastic brewery. Because you have the indoor, you have the garage setting where you could brew beer, and then you have the outside lot right there that you could do kind of like a outside seating.
Yeah.
But instead of that, I love this idea too. I mean, having the food carts, having the indoor, and then and actually have an office building. So he's got like a 3-in-1.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool. That's a cool building. I'm glad he's doing something with it.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of real estate there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big building.
Well, hey, so what's going on? What's going on in the county?
Well, we adopted our budget end of last month. Budget committee was fantastic. We have a really great budget committee right now. That's actually my 7th year watching the budget process, and our administrator Shirley Burgess and our department heads, fantastic to work with. With the amount of money we have, it's not much, and I'm happy to say right now we're in a good spot, and I think we will be for hopefully the next 2 to 5 years. But things never. I mean, we're one bad winter away from getting turned upside down.
Yeah.
You know, if we get 2 feet every week a winter, that just drains our budget. Trying to keep our roads open, and so emergencies happen and things happen. And right now, knock on wood, that we're going to continue to be okay.
So
hopefully I just didn't jinx us.
Yeah. So how does that? I mean, explain that a little bit more. So then, because what percentage of the budget would you guess is like roads and?
That was you hit it on the spot. The guess.
Yeah.
We kind of so Director Wright with Public Works.
Right.
He's just taking like an average of all right.
Yeah.
We budget this for snow removal.
Right.
And sometimes we're under, sometimes we're over, and then when we're over, it's sometimes we're way over.
Yeah.
But it's something we have to keep roads open.
Right.
For emergency services and food and water and
Right.
so when the wind's blowing and the snow is going, man, it's rough.
It sucks. It sucks a lot of funds.
Yes,
in order
it does.
To do that. Yeah.
100%. And our guys are working nonstop, and I think even this last winter, we put out a PSA about, hey, after 5 o'clock, our guys are even out there for 16 hours.
Yeah.
We got to get them rested for tomorrow. And we said some of these roads are not going to be passable. And
Right. So in the last 6 years, what are some of the? I mean, and I know there's lots of things. What are some of the things that you could say that the average citizen doesn't know? They might not realize, like roads or like I mean. Can you think of something even more minor than that that's like you had no idea that,
I'm pretty transparent.
Right.
Every time I come on the show, I always try to.
No.
I'm trying to think of something specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, you got me on that one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Good, nice gotcha question.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like unsung heroes that and we talked a little bit.
Oh, but the 911 dispatchers.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And when you said that, what a narrow, broad scope of someone that can do that, man,
Right.
it worries me a little bit
Yeah.
because our employment issues, I say it on your show all the time, are just, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
We cannot find employees. So that was going back to the urban renewal and the projects coming up. I see all these great projects that are coming up. I'm like, where are they going to get their employees?
Yeah.
Our unemployment went from 3.6 to 4.7 now. They're giving out even more money to people not to work, and we have a help wanted sign on every single business.
Okay, so
every single one of them.
So this is, if you don't want to have this conversation, you just let me know. So because recently you chased down that you went to the state and you said, hey, why are we still giving out money to unemployment? And the accountability process is less. It used to be that if you got unemployment, and I don't know if it still is, that you had to apply for a certain number of jobs in order to continue that trend. So But the state says, well, yeah, but look at our unemployment. It's the lowest that.
Yeah, they're hanging their hat on. Look at us,
Right,
where we're
yeah,
at.
so-
And I was
yeah,
like,
so
well,
tell me about that.
Well,
Kind of-
that goes back to our last conversation. When you look at Idaho, they're in the 2s, or they
Right.
were. I haven't checked them in a while, but they were. We were 3.6, and Oregon was like, look at us, we've never been this low before. And then we look at Idaho, and they're at 2.2, and
Right.
it's like, why are they at 2.2, and we still need people working?
Right.
And I said, congratulations at 3.6. That's, doing a fantastic job. But I think we could go lower and get our workforce back up.
Right. But why is that? How can the unemployment number be low, but we still have so many help wanted?
Yeah, I'm not saying it could go to 0.
No, I know,
but
but what we're seeing is people on the ground here are seeing that number doesn't reflect what's really going on. Why is that, do you think?
That is a question. Actually, I have to go to the unemployment department. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the employment department.
Yeah.
But I always kind of call it the unemployment department. But I'll be, after this, I got another meeting at 9:30, but after this I have to go down there anyway and list a couple jobs, and I'll probably be asking that same question is, hey, what's our procedure now? I haven't been there in a while. So check in and just say, hey, what are we doing to get these people to work, to have jobs? Because that's usually the goal, is not to pay you not to work.
Well, and I think part of the answer has to be that some of those folks that are not working have been taken off. Well, if you're not looking for a job, then we can't count you as the part of the unemployment percentage or something. I mean, what I'm saying is the numbers have been fiddled with a little bit, it seems. And
Well, I don't know if the definition of unemployment has changed.
Okay.
Maybe that could be it. But usually, I mean, if you have a disability, there's other programs for disability. If you're unable to work,
Right.
Or if but then they said, well, if you don't have a skill set, then there's training.
Right.
They've offered all this, and to still see it over even 4% when we could probably use 100 to 200 jobs in our community filled.
right.
It just blows my mind.
So, but do you think that people are not going back to work because they're getting paid at home?
I would say that would be
I just looked it up, and in Oregon, for each week that you claim benefits, you have to complete 5 work-seeking activities, and at least 2 of these activities must involve direct contact with an employer, either in person, by phone, by mail, or email. You have to keep track of it, and then they can ask you for those records. I think the problem is they're not asking for those records often enough, so people don't do it.
So that's why everyone's calling.
Yeah.
So right now we're looking for
it's the easy way to do it.
Yeah, we're looking for a cook, and my manager, she goes, I get plenty of phone calls saying, hey, I hear you're looking.
Because they can write that down.
They
as
can
a
write it
job-seeking
down,
activity.
and then she says, come in and get an application, and then it's like, oh, you did your phone calls, you're good.
Check
the other
box.
thing in Oregon, you don't have to seek jobs that you're not qualified for or that you haven't done in like if I'm a welder, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to if there's not welding jobs, I don't have to apply to be a cook at bench warmers. You can focus just on your stuff. You don't have to go outside of that. So people are. You know what I mean? If they're a welder and there's no welding jobs, or there's only 1 or 2, they show that they've applied for those, then they don't have to apply at McDonald's. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've actually seen firsthand your businesses not be able to serve up the menu because you don't have somebody there.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know. I'm just using it as an
it's across
example.
it's down the. I see more and more places saying, "Man, I'm 1 employee away from closing for 2 days a week," and it's so everyone. Why is service slow? Why are you closed all the time? Why we can't? I'd be open 24/7 if I had employees.
Right.
Everyone would. So it's just not me. It's you ask any business owner, and trust me, I know almost all of them.
Yeah.
And we're all saying the same exact thing: is if we don't have the workforce to help us stay open.
Yeah.
And my friends in Pendleton, the Prodigal Son, I think they're still 3 days a week.
Well, here's a hot button. Let's talk about minimum wage a little bit and how that affects, because it's going up this month.
Every July.
Yeah. And so how does that affect you? I mean, as
No, it's just it just pushes the buck down the road.
yeah,
Does the same thing. So my expenses go up, so I need to. So my prices go up.
right, yeah,
Everything goes up, so prices go up, and that's inflation.
right. So do you think how are there some businesses though that I'm sure there are that are out there? It's like I can't afford to do business anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, or they cut back the hours and cut back employees, or
Yeah, you just cut expenses until you go broke,
yeah,
which is sad, very
right.
sad.
So how do you feel about the other side of that? Well, so then people need to be making a living wage, and so increasing.
That's a vicious circle.
I
Then
know
you get
it
into
is.
housing, and then you get in,
Right.
food and
Everything's more expensive.
But from a
Yeah.
business owner, how do you? I mean,
you got to think outside the box.
Yeah.
You got to try to do specials that maybe are a little more profitable that people like, and and then you inventory. You see a lot of people like, okay, I'm taking. I went from 30 things on my menu down to 15, and I go down to 5, and you just cut back best you can,
okay.
and you just try to survive.
Okay,
Just try to survive.
Here's another one of those questions. Okay, so like the tipping. I mean, you're in an industry. You own a bar.
Mm-hmm.
The tipping part of it's always been a big part of that. So what do you think personally about? I mean, I went to Subway the other day, and the cash machine asked for a tip.
Oh, that's everywhere now.
Yeah.
You go to
That's
like
just
an automotive
normal.
store, it's like gratuity. It's like, you got me my part,
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's that screen when they turn it around, and it's like,
Yeah.
And it used to be, 15% was a fantastic tip, and now I've gone to some and it's 25% is one of the options.
15%'s the bottom now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it used to be on service.
Well,
Yeah,
right.
now it's expected.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right. But I mean, at Subway, like, no, I'm not. Yeah. Just because you change the rules, I'm not changing the rules. Yeah.
Well, if it's, and I look at the coffee shops. It's like, oh, they made you a coffee. Why do you tip them? Well, the coffee shops I see are giving good service. I don't
Right.
go to them frequently, but my wife does, and they see her coming through the drive-through, and boy, that thing's ready for her.
Right.
Okay, that's kind of like that's
Right.
that's service.
Right. Right.
It's like in the restaurant industry, someone comes in the door and, hey, here's your burger and your beer waiting for you.
Right.
Or back when everyone smoked, it was, hey, my ashtray. You remember checking ashtrays? Oh my gosh, it's called checking ashtrays.
Yeah.
So if you had more than 2 butts in
Gotta
the ashtray, you got to clean it, man. There goes your tip.
So like with the coffee shops, for instance, I mean, I don't understand the whole I mean, I tip, but at the same time, why should somebody get paid more than minimum wage to do a minimum wage job? And why should I, as the consumer, be the one that's supplying the money to make them make more than minimum wage, and not the owner of a coffee shop who's making $4 a cup of coffee? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that.
Well, and I think and Gabe and I were talking about this the other day. Part of the confusion is that there are some states that pay waiters less money, hoping that the tips are going to make up. I mean, there's
Which is crazy.
right. So then I think Idaho is one of those states.
Yeah, I came from Arizona is a right to work state. I came from that too.
Right. So the minimum wage for them is much less, and then part of their wage is living on the tips. Okay, whatever it might be. Well, that's not the case in Oregon. Oregon, and so from the consumer standpoint, it's a little bit confusing too. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, living down in Arizona, I started the restaurant industry when I was 16. Down there, I worked at a Chinese food restaurant, a barbecue, and then I started getting into fancier. And I was in a black. I wore a tuxedo, and it was.
We need to see some of those pictures.
It was a French restaurant. It was interesting, and I moved up here and started working at Benchwarmers, and I was shocked. I was like, I get a paycheck.
Yeah.
I was
and tips. You're like, I'm rich.
Oh man, I came up here. I was like, this is. I can't believe. That's why I fell in love with Benchwarmers. I was like, man, I'll be making. I get a paycheck to
Right.
pay my bills, and I get cash to have fun with it. I was like, this is insane. Down in Arizona, man, you had to bust your butt because that was nothing. You're just getting tips.
Yeah.
So service had to be fantastic. It was. My first job, I got paid $2.25 an hour.
Yeah.
And maybe my paycheck would be $7 or something. But I'd walk out every night with $20 or $30.
Yeah.
For a 16-year-old, that's a.
Right.
You know, the movies were $3.50 back then. I mean, I was.
What was that, like the 60s, 70s?
Like every time, how old I am, or how tall I am, or
Guys,
I never made a tall joke.
I was going to
on
say,
you.
I don't.
yeah, but it's always every time
I
I
don't
come
think
on.
you're that too much difference between.
We're not.
Yeah.
No, he's only
That's
like
right.
4 years older than me.
Yeah, it's
5.
like so you're making old jokes about
I'm still in my
yourself,
40s.
dude.
Yeah, you're 49.
Yeah.
Hey, you
I'll
didn't need
be
to say
45.
that.
I knew that. But hey, what about like with the tips wise? The crazy thing about Oregon too is you don't pay taxes on a lot of the cash. Like
No,
you're not paying. There's only the law says like 20%, right? 20%?
No, it's the way my restaurants are. I don't know if it's always been this. The state it's you have to get taxed on 8% of your sales, so it's on sales.
Oh, okay.
So it's not on the actual tips that you're receiving, because who's going to really say, yeah, I made $100?
Right.
So it's on, hey, you sell $1,000 that night. You know, 8% of your sales. So really, if you don't tip, then people are paying taxes on income they're not receiving.
So say that.
But I
again,
don't think
explain
that's
that.
the law in Oregon.
We haven't changed it at the restaurants. I don't. That's the way we've been always doing it.
Talking. I don't know. I think it seemed like you would know.
The CPA knows that. The tax guys. I just say, let me know how much I owe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right. Well, hey. So let's come back to counting, I guess.
Okay.
What else is?
You know what?
Yeah, I was going to
I
say
gotta-
you got some.
I brought a cheat sheet.
You got some stuff. Yeah.
I'm
so
cheating. I haven't
that's
done
all
this.
right.
I haven't done this before.
Yeah.
All right. So with this warm weather, I talked to my emergency manager yesterday, and we did Oregon Department of Forestry put us in the high fire danger.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'll just go through some of the important stuff. Open fires are prohibited, including campfires, charcoal fires, cooking fires, warming fires, except in designated locations. So right now, it's going to really dry out. We had one of the wettest 4th of Julys we've had in a while. I remember in the years past, even the city said, hey, we're canceling no fireworks or personal fireworks. It's just so dry. We had a really wet spring.
Right.
But with this warm weather right now, we're really going to see it dry out real quick.
Right.
And we were talking about humidity and dryness earlier, Kyle. Me coming from Arizona, boy, 115 is a lot better than 90% humidity.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I would say it's going to be a little bit humid. It was a little humid yesterday, today, but hopefully that all dries out, and then it gets more comfortable for us.
Yeah.
But for fire danger, please be careful on what you're doing out there, depending on what district you're in. If you need to figure out what district you're in, your different rules there, it is Blue Mountain Interagency Dispatch. Go on their website to find out your location and the rules that you could be doing. And right now there's no open burning. And what else did he tell me to say? Oh, for if you're looking for places to cool down, the library during their normal business hours, you could go in there. The senior center, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, if you're looking for a place to just get out of the heat.
Yeah.
And then the Right Track Resource Center, which is the warming, they changed the name from the warming station to that. They're offering places where you could go find a nice, cool place to hang out if it gets too hot during the day for you. So fantastic for these people to publicly come out and say, hey, if you're to beat the heat, come in, please. Get some water and CHD, please. CHD's out there too.
Yeah.
I know they got water stations. Allen City does the same thing. I think they have coolers out in certain areas.
Yeah.
They're filling up with water. So great job for their community to really help out people that are, maybe struggling. Search and rescue, emergency manager Vora brought this up too. We're getting away from the mushroom hunters and the spring bear hunters and the things that are getting lost. We're getting more of the people that are hiking alone, maybe not prepared, turned ankles, broken feet. It's like, please go with a partner. Please know what you're getting yourself into. Pack accordingly. Water. Who knows? Something could happen. You may have to stay the night.
Yep.
So he's like, just be prepared, and if you do some hiking and stuff, because a lot of people want to get out of this heat, and they go up in the mountains. It's still nice and cool up there.
Yeah.
And just be prepared.
Yeah.
But Search and Rescue has been they're fantastic. They do such a great job for our community.
Good. And so the warming station renamed themselves Right Track.
Right Track, Resource Center.
Cool.
Yep. Oh, and Emergency Vora did lock down some from Oregon Department of Emergency Management and Oregon Department of Human Services 2 pallets of water for the food bank, because I guess the food bank was really low on water. So Emergency Manager Vora did a fantastic job of locking down 2 pallets of water for our food bank,
Good.
which would be distributed out amongst the counties.
All right.
Yeah, perfect timing for that with all this hot weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just really great partnerships between ODF and the Forest Service and our community. Our communication and these partnerships just make it a lot easier to work with emergencies and getting information out about burning and
Yeah.
getting on fires and keeping everything down.
Yeah. And a lot of there's some confusion. So this burning ban, it doesn't restrict people from burning their little fire pit in their own backyards.
I just said the main one on this.
Right, but I mean that's
if you go onto Oregon Department of Forestry's website, they have it all right here.
Yeah.
The LeGrand number 541-963-3168. They can answer all your questions.
Yeah.
All the gas stoves that's fine. So I'm guessing like when the charcoal barbecue stuff,
Okay.
it's not embers can blow
Right.
from that, but I think it's the disposing of the.
Right,
They
yeah.
could sit there and smolder for a while and then catch something on fire.
yeah.
One of the things Union County Emergency Services is pushing too is in this heat when it gets hot like this, the library is a great resource for air conditioning. They got Wi-Fi. You don't have to have a library card to access the
Yeah.
building, so you can go there if you're hot and you can't get out of the heat. The library is open during the day, and go sit in there and don't burn up.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like you. I'm from Arizona. This is great.
Love it.
It's like finally.
Yeah. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I like the heat. I want to go out. I'm a lizard. Like, give me that heat. I'll save it for the.
I got my tan back.
Yeah,
But finally,
it's nice, man.
Yeah, feels
I
good.
think.
and then I like it when the sun's just about to go down, and it just is that perfect temperature.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Except for the mosquitoes this year.
75, 80, like just
mosquitoes.
nice.
Yeah. Did
Oh,
you-
I got hammered by mosquitoes on 4th of
man.
July. Ooh.
I know our
They like me though. I'm warm.
yeah, I get bit constantly. I know our vector control is just getting overwhelmed with calls, but having such a wet spring this year has been horrible. They bit me through my shirt. I had like 20 bites in my back.
Really?
Oh, through my shirt.
Wow.
I got that blood.
That's
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Yeah, I do
No,
too.
they like me too a bunch. Yeah.
My wife doesn't wear.
In fact,
never wears
yeah.
spray, and she never gets bit.
In fact, yeah, when we went out to the Buffalo Peak the other night, I'd forgotten it and forgotten bug spray. So I had to hunt somebody down. It's like, oh, yeah, I got to have some.
I didn't notice it until like later. After I talked to you, I was
Yeah.
fine, and then
Yeah.
up there, I mean, away from all the people too. Like that's
Yeah.
where I'm sure down at the ponds too. I'll bet you people that were close to the water were just getting hammered.
Yeah.
Hammered.
That's a beautiful venue to watch fireworks. It is just so, it's just incredible. You know, I really enjoyed that again this year.
Yep.
So,
No, it's great that we have a place that we can.
right.
After they did the remodeling up there at the Eastern, we were struggling.
Right.
It's like you can't find locations. You need a big area, and the stipulations to have it. That's almost boils down to it. That's it.
Well, and it's ideal doing it over a golf course. I mean, Dana might not think it's ideal, but from the fire prevention standpoint, you know, I mean,
That's green.
most of the
it's
grass
wet
is
and-
green,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and so
Turn the sprinklers on and put out any embers that are hot. Yeah.
Right.
I think Dana loves it actually. It just gives him an opportunity to show off Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wondered how much trash was left though out on the golf course that had to be picked up or whatever. You know.
I hope not many.
Hopefully not
Probably
much.
not that much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think. I'll ask Dana. That's a
Yeah.
good question.
No. So well, anything else burning down? You need to.
Oh, fair. End of this month.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll go. Go out and
No
support the fair.
carnival again, but they tried to make up for it with that carnival.
That was just they're just trying to come through. I'm trying to propose a deal with them because they're moving like state to state.
Right.
And a lot of people think that the carnival was like let's not do the carnival anymore. That's not what happened.
No,
like Stock Show, that is not. The fair did not say, hey, we're done with the carnival, but we keep getting, I see social media all the time just blasting the fair about why did they get rid of the carnival? It's like, we didn't. There was 3 carnival companies owned by, two brothers and a sister.
Yeah.
And 2 of them went out of business.
Down. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So there's one carnival company that's going around Oregon, and they're hitting the ones that have the best income, because traveling and any of their expenses are through the roof like everybody else's are right now. And so we are just outside that population.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting one from Idaho, hopefully come this direction. And the one that was just here, they said if they get a 9-week circuit, that they'll take a look at it. Mm-hmm. And between Stock Show, the fair, maybe Wallowa County, Baker County, Elgin Stampede, I don't know. I'm trying to work on something because, trust me, everyone, we want the carnival back.
I mean,
quit ripping on us on social media.
If the fair's got $65,000, there's a 1984 Gravitron for sale in Arizona. I saw on social media the other day.
So we got one
ride.
An '84 Gravitron, just like take it back to the old school. Right there.
We're still trying to get.
Hated that ride. I don't like carnival rides, but that one was the worst.
I don't know what the Gravitron
It
is.
sucks you up against the thing.
Is that the spinning disc?
Yes, it sucks you up against the seat and shoots you up. No, I did not like that at all. No.
I'm not a big fan of the ones that drop.
No,
but that's
that
like
feeling of
it was like at Disneyland. It's got that. I don't know what it's called now, but it's the one that goes up and down the elevator deal.
Yeah, what is that called? Or like the slingshots. Slingshots are popular on social media. The one and it boom on the bungees. Like, no,
I've not seen one of those in person.
I love it when they mess with the people. He's like standing there. He's like, "Oh, I need to come adjust your seatbelt," and then hits the button.
Yeah,
just drop.
No.
Yeah, oh, did we get your seatbelt buckled? And then boom.
I'm not doing it. No.
I went on one of those water slides where the floor falls out.
Oh yeah.
That freaks you out.
Damn near like straight down.
Oh, it is straight down, and then it catches you.
Yeah.
Your heart goes into your mouth.
No, gravity's not nice to people my size, so I'm not messing with you.
No, you do this, and you're like, when is this going?
And all of a sudden, it just wedgie really bad.
I was just. No, I don't know.
You don't remember?
No.
You're right. Please don't die today.
I did it. Check the box.
Yeah.
I said it.
I don't need that box checked.
Yeah.
Good.
Many years ago, I went bungee jumping.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
And it was up in Canada and it was the biggest indoor water park up in Calgary. And anyhow, so I had this idea. Brady was young at the time, and so we went together. And I had this idea, it's like, I'm gonna be like a swan. I'm gonna like be bold and jump off the thing. And when it came right down to it, it was like I bent my knees and fell forward. There was no jumping. There was nothing heroic about it. It was like, I'm committed. It's the only way I'm gonna get down. It was one of the most horrifying things I've ever done. Yeah.
No, falling isn't fun.
No. Anyhow. Well, hey, thank you, man.
You bet.
Thanks for
great to see you guys.
Is your golf tournament already over?
No,
Talk about it.
Yeah, so our 23rd annual Benchwarmer Classic is this Saturday.
I thought so.
Yeah, we do have a couple spots left open. Goes to all the charity that we've been using for a while now is the Oregon Women in Timber. Yep. Fantastic group. What they do is they go around and teach the schools and stuff around our state the management of forests and how it incorporates life and how it's important to manage our forests. And great program. The gals are fantastic. And they'll be out there Saturday, 9 a.m. shotgun tea times, and Jimmy's Barbecue comes out and does a tri-tip every single year. He does a fantastic job. Love his tri-tip, and it's a great time. And so if you got a team out there, get signed up. I think we usually are full by Thursday, but I think we have some spots, so
Yeah.
get some spots open. Yeah, 23 years we've been doing this charity
Wow.
tournament.
That's a long
3
time.
years. It's a long
Yeah.
time.
We've done nursing program at EOU. We've done the high school baseball. We've done animal shelter with
Do you
spay
choose a
and
different
neuters.
one every year?
Well, I was kind of rotating for a while, and then the animal shelter was doing such a great job, and I can just, hey, keep it going, and then I'll Oregon Women in Timber are doing it, and I'll do it until they say no, and then I'll have another charity.
Find somebody else.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's turned out to be kind of a great little golf tournament. 23 years.
Wow. Good stuff.
That's this
Yeah,
Saturday.
thanks for bringing that up. Yep.
All righty. Well, hey, you want to get us out here?
Let's do it. On this day, which is July 9th, 1776, the U.S. Declaration of Independence is first read to George Washington's troops in New York.
What year again?
1776.
1776.
Yeah, like the year that I think is
Yeah, don't look at me like that, yeah.
Like the year the Declaration of Independence came out, I think, isn't it?
Well, that's when it was
This is
signed.
when it was first read publicly.
Yeah, this is when it was signed, yeah, which most people don't know is at the beginning of the war.
Was it at the beginning of the war?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. I
Yeah,
get this off a
yeah.
website. 1795 on this day, James Swan pays off the U.S. national debt. How much do you think the U.S. national debt was in 1795? It's paid off by a person, like a private dude.
$500,000.
$2,024. $2,024,899
Wow.
was the national debt in 1795. 1877, the first ever Wimbledon tennis championship begins, and they call it lawn tennis because it's played on real grass. So yeah, the very first, and it was men's singles only in 1877. 1893, surgeon Daniel Hale Williams performs the first successful open heart surgery when he repairs the torn pericardium of a knife wound patient. Very first successful open heart. And that's crazy. They did it without the use of penicillin or blood transfusion.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
What year?
Yeah. 1893.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah, no penicillin, no blood transfusion, open heart surgery.
were there no infections back then?
I mean, there had to have been, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a joke. but-
1953 on this day, the first helicopter passenger service opens in New York City. 1981, Nintendo releases arcade game Donkey Kong, created by Shigeru Miyamoto in Japan. 1995 on this day, it was Jerry Garcia's final concert. Unexpectedly died after the concert, well, within a couple of days. It was at Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. 2018, bright pink is the world's oldest biological color, according to scientists. It's produced by a tiny bacteria in a 1.1 billion year old marine shale rock from the Taduni Basin. 1.1 billion years old. Pink. Bright pink. That's crazy. 2021. June 2021 is declared the U.S. hottest June ever. Average temperature in June across the United States was 72.6 degrees, which is 4.2 degrees above the average June in the United States. That's a lot of that's a lot when you think of the average of the whole country for the
Right.
entire month of June. We're adding 4 degrees to that, and that's a lot. Number one song in America on this day in 2004, "Burn" by Usher. And then the quote of the day comes from Aparna Nancharla. And I just like this when I read it. Fries or salad sums up every adult decision you have to make. Right? If you think about that, fries or salad sums up every adult
we were talking about that.
decision
Carbs
you
or,
have to make. Yeah.
Carbs or vegetables right there, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks,
Cool.
Matt.
You
Yeah,
bet.
we
Thank you, guys.
appreciate you.
Jumping
Yep.
in. Appreciate it. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you right here Thursday.